look if it was still morning time. It is. Good morning. I didn't really know what to, not me getting emotional. Oh, it's been a rough day, you guys. It's been a rough day. I hate when the weekend comes because I have absolutely nothing to do. The week is just so much better because it's like I have so much to do, like phone call wise and stuff like that, and then when the weekend comes, it just there isn't anything to do. Hey guys, good morning. I didn't know what to come on here and do with you guys, so I'm just gonna straighten my hair. We're gonna try to straighten my hair to feel a little pretty. Not that we give a fuck if we're pretty right now or not, but hi. The other day was a good day, and then yesterday was an alright day. The day before that was really shitty, because I got the call that they picked up Oliver. Oh, whoops, whoopsie daisy. They picked up his ashes, or not his ashes, they picked him up. And self-care, that's what we're attempting, girl. And they said that the cremation process should begin on Monday because they have to like get all the permits and stuff like that. So I know I slipped up because I've been calling him that like ever since he came instead of baby pierogi, but I didn't think I was gonna slip up, but here we are. Oh, well, his name comes from the meaning peace. His middle name, Josh was not a fan. He was like, where did you find this name? And I was like, you didn't say anything, sir, when I brought it up. So therefore, I went with it. Good morning, Becky. But I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, my boob's leaking. I need to go put the little pad things or whatever they're called. But yeah, they have to go and get his paperwork to get like the authorization and stuff like that. And I was actually supposed to leave town on the 8th, but given that they picked him up and they have him, and I know he'll be getting delivered immediately shortly after, I don't want to be out of town and have his ashes sitting in a mailbox. And people are like, well, you know, Josh can go get him. I'm like, I don't care. I want to be here when he gets here. Oh, I might cry again. But, so we're not going anywhere. So therefore, we are staying home. I got invited by my friend to come for the weekend and just be out on the boat and to just like occupy my mind. Well, me and Josh both got invited, but given the circumstances, he really hasn't been like available for the weekends for his own things, you know, and Stevie. So he declined the invitation, which makes sense. But where are you? But it was very sweet of her to invite us. She said if not, the next month. I feel like going places is just gonna like, is just going to like brush everything under the table, and like when I get back home, it's just, I don't know how to like, I don't know what to talk about. Oh, I just want to cry today. It's so rough. I think it's rough because a new month started. And when a new month starts, it just gets closer to his due date. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do when his due date does come around. I might fucking go crazy, honestly. Your curls are beautiful, girl. No, ma'am. Yeah, this is my natural hair. We don't even know what to call this, girl. It's like curly, wavy. I don't know. If I actually were to do things, probably to like use the proper hair care products for it, maybe it would look somewhat normal, not like a lion's mane or a wig that's been like sitting on the side of the highway for a few months. But I was like, I'm home alone, can't I was like, can't literally distract myself with TV or watching Frank. I'm almost certain that Frank is literally tired of me. Like, I'm almost certain he's just tired of me. Because whenever I get sad, I'm like, let's go outside, because then I can't cry outside, you know? So I just go outside because I can't cry outside. Like, me and Mom went to the pool. When was it? Tuesday? And I sat at the pool because I know I can't cry in public. So I just go outside because I don't like crying in front of people. Girl, I am not gonna be able to get in my messages for a while. There's just so many. But that's what I've been doing. I've been going outside when I want to cry. I just want to go outside because it's good to cry. But then again, like there's days where there's just too much fucking crying and sadness. And Mama Helena went and picked up the van yesterday, and it broke down on her on the way back to here, so she's dealing with all of that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like I'm not even gonna help you right now. Like, I cannot take any more on my plate. Like, you're on your own with that shit. I was like, I told you from the get-go not to put it with this place, because it was like a mom and pop's place, which are usually nice, but this place was just sketchy. And so she just went there with them to go meet up and give them the key so they could tow the car back to the shop. So that's more money she has to dish out. I said I can't cry outside. I don't like crying in front of people, which is weird that I don't mind crying in front of you guys, but I feel like you guys are like, I feel like even though I don't know you, I feel like I know you. Is that weird? Probably. I have been journaling. I've been writing in his baby books. I've also been like thinking of tattoo ideas. Surprisingly, Josh was like, I might get a tattoo in memory of him. And Josh doesn't have any tattoos and has never wanted tattoos. He was like, we could go together And I have to go and print out all the pictures we have of him with us, and then me holding him. I can't remember. Did I tell you guys how much he weighed and how long he was? He would have been tall. And did you start therapy? Yes. And let me tell you, I was so mad. I was so mad. The ultrasounds lied. Okay, the ultrasounds lied. This child, it was a copy and paste of Joshua. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. I was like, the one thing I just wanted him to have was my little itty bitty ears and my nose. That's it. That's it. I just wanted him to have my little baby ears. Big ears on men scare me because what, Debbie? Because when you get older, your ears grow bigger. So big ears just scare me. Like, my dad's ears terrify me. My sister has my dad's ears. And I don't know if it works for women like it does for men. Does it? But my dad's ears are getting bigger and bigger, and I'm just like, all I wanted was for him to have my little ears, because big ears scare me. And the DNA said, copy and paste, bitch, copy and paste. So does your nose? Really? How would my nose grow? Outwards though? Okay, so is it just for guys that, I don't know, big ears scare me, man. My friend, her grandpa, when I first came to the States, had big ears. And I mean, like, you know the guy from the movie Up, the older little guy where his ears are so big? Like, I would just look at him and be like, do you hear everything? And he's like, no. And I'm like, it mesmerizes me. It literally mesmerizes me, but they terrify me. Big ears and big feet scare me. They terrify me. Big feet scare me. Feet scare me overall. But big feet, and he had big feet. He was gonna be tall, you guys. He was 28 centimeters, and he was teeny tiny for his gestational age. They do. I thought it was ears. I didn't know it was the nose too. I know that your spine shrinks, which is why you get shorter. It doesn't shrink, it just the wear and tear on it, I guess. But yeah, well, excuse me, Frank. But you guys, he was gonna be so tall. Like, his legs were so long. Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying again. Stop it. This is Foxy's straightener. I have big feet, but I feel like I don't have big feet because everyone always thinks I wear a size smaller than I do. So I take it. I'm like, heck yeah. Let's go. But he was 28 centimeters long, and he had my dad's shoulders, which are my shoulders, because I have my dad's shoulders. Like I have a small torso, but I have like, I don't have wide shoulders, but I don't know how to explain it. And he had Stevie's chin 100%. Stevie's cheeks, like if he would have started like filling out, like she has really high cheekbones. he would have had her cheeks 100%. And you know what's absolutely crazy, you guys, is like when they were talking about his abnormalities, they put so much fear into us. And they said, you know, like his abnormalities weren't the issue. There was no issue. We had no problem with him having any kind of abnormalities, as far as like having any kind of like facial abnormalities, body abnormalities, nothing like. And all of his abnormalities, they were all fixable if we wanted to fix them, you know what I mean? But when when somebody, even on the MRI, when they showed us, when somebody continuously speaks on, oh really, Misty, dang girl, when somebody continuously speaks on like those abnormalities, and then you start Googling, and then you start looking up babies that have the similar the similar like birth defects, and all of that, like you put an image in your mind, if that makes sense. Like you put an image in your mind, like this is what he could possibly look like. Like when I tell y'all that this baby, there was, even though he did have the abnormality, like you could tell with just his structure up here that his right eye, well, I'm pointing to my left, but his right eye was a little bit smaller than his left eye, but everything else was perfect. Like everything else was perfect. Like what I expected versus how he looked when he came out was just, I mean, just you would never think. Like you would never think. But they did say that, you know, the older he would get, the more those abnormalities would form, given that, you know, like his head shape, or his head was so much smaller, and then the flatness of his frontal skull and all of that. It's just crazy. Like his nose was just so perfect, and his lips, he has Josh's lips 100%. His ears, like I said, like the only thing this little boy had of mine was my freaking toes and my shoulders and my long legs. That's it. But when they were like, he has no nasal bone and just it was all flattened, like he had a perfect nasal bone here and a perfect little nose. It was a little pushed up, but not as much as mine. Josh thinks that he would have definitely ended up having my nose. Like the more that he progressed, I did not want him to have my toes. When I was born, you guys, my toes were so jacked up, I had to have surgery on my toes. Like on my pinkies, like when I came out, my pinkies were like, girl, we don't even know where the pinky was, okay? She was not where she was supposed to be. And his pinky was not where it was supposed to be. I was like, sir. He did have his right foot was clubbed. It makes me so happy talking about him. But I was like, and then the funny part is, he did, so actually, I went from being 5 centimeters dilated. When Josh landed, I went from being 5 centimeters dilated to being 10 centimeters dilated. And probably an hour after Josh got there, they threw my legs up and started the process, you know what I mean? Yeah, we've shared pictures of him with close friends and family. My sister hasn't seen him. My sister didn't want to see him when she was in the hospital. She said she couldn't handle that. Josh did end up holding him, even though he was absolutely terrified to. He was just, I mean, he was literally so scared. And he was just so little, like, he had dark hair, fully black hair. Yeah, talking about him is the best medicine. I was talking about him with Josh this morning because I stayed the night at his house last night. And when he was getting ready for work and on the way for him to drop me off here, we were talking about him, and I'm like, it's so crazy to think about that he was almost a foot long, even though like his little footprints are so funny because of the clubbed foot. So it's like a normal little footprint and then just like a teeny tiny one, and it's just like I really want to tattoo the little footsies on me just because of like I want to show you guys so bad, but I don't know if Josh is comfortable with that, so I haven't talked to him about it. He doesn't even know that I came on here. He is perfect, yes. Hi babe, by the way. He was, like I said, there was so much fear with what they told us, you know? And then for him to just come out so perfect. And the little encephalocele, me forgetting how all the words are. It was so teeny tiny, but you could definitely see it. You never showed us, ma'am, the footsies. I know, I haven't showed anyone the footprints. I will, Kayla. Message in the group chat so I'm reminded. Yeah, that's what Josh wants to do, is tattoo his little footprints. I want to get the profile of his face. No, Donna, I don't want any questions. We're just talking about. Did you push long? No, girl, he came right out. He was born, my water didn't even break. He was born in the sack. They had to break the sack, and he was born, pretty much they considered he was born sleeping, because they said that once the labor process started, because his brain was so underdeveloped. Yeah, he was 1 pound and 1.8 ounces. Because of how underdeveloped his brain was. Like, I think people don't realize, like, the reason why he had a heartbeat, you guys, is because of my placenta. Like, his brain is incapable of telling him, hey, it's time for your heart to beat. Hey, it's time to breathe, you know, like his brain couldn't tell him to do just the basic needs of survival. Like, it's just there, he only was able to move around, move and groove and have a heartbeat because of me. Like, he was living for me. Like, it was my placenta that was pumping his heart. Does that make sense? And I think people are absolutely forgetting that. And given that, I don't want anything on my chest area. Given that, you know, he passed away during the labor process, yeah, I was pretty much his life support, yes. Like, given that he pretty much, even though when he was born, he wasn't born alive, his heart continued to beat for 4 minutes, because even when you pass, your heart doesn't completely, not everything shuts down all at once. Does that make sense? So when they handed him to me, when I held him, like, he was still moving around a little bit, but it wasn't him moving, it was just his body. It's so hard to explain. And it's just, it was, yes, it will, Amy. You know, it was a hard decision to make. But we know deep down in our hearts, and everyone that surrounds us in the real world, you know, here, as far as family, like my blood and his blood, we all know it was the right decision, and that's all that matters. So, and I mean, the nurses and the doctors were like so supportive. They were like, because you know, I talked to them and I was like, this is a terrifying decision, da da da, whatever. People say may or may not hurt me, but you know, I know that I made the right one. And they're like, people sometimes just forget to put reality with a situation like this, especially when it comes to babies. People just don't. People just preach, choose life, and you know, in your situation, it's not like you were making a decision because you didn't want him. You were making a decision because he only breathed and his heart only pumped because of you. Like, yeah, Jay. It's hard to explain because I even asked and I was like, should he still be moving and all of that? They're like, yes, that'll happen for a little bit. It all depends on his body. It's just, it's absolutely insane how much life my body was giving him. Yeah, it isn't. Hi, Angela. And the one thing I am thankful for is that I was able to hold him and spend time with him. And, you know, the process of just being in the same room with him, we got a whole night and day with him. We could have had more, but within the 24 hours, even though in between holding him, and, you know, loving on him. I mean, I had him on my chest for like an hour and a half and I was falling asleep with him. And then I finally was like, babe, will you get him? Because I don't want to fall asleep and hurt him and, you know, move or anything. And, you know, even though like I said, we had him on, like, because they provide a little like cuddling cot, cooling cot. At some point your body does start getting softer and softer, you know. I don't want to use the other word because it's gross. We had a lot of time with him. We have a lot of pictures. My mom has a lot of pictures. My mom was there for the delivery and then she left so that me and Josh had our time with him. She came back the next day and was like, I didn't even get to kiss him goodbye before leaving last night because I just wanted to give you guys your space. And I was like, Mom, he's still here. You're okay. I do feel like I protected him. Yeah, I know, Jade. And then when we were discharged, they almost didn't let me take his umbilical cord, and I was like, you need to call a supervisor or figure your shit out. I'm not leaving this hospital without it. Like, you're funny. No. And then they finally talked to someone. I think it was like an hour and a half, and they came in and they're like, yeah, you just have to like sign a piece of paper. I don't remember what all the paper said, but they're like that we're just like releasing it to you, which doesn't make sense to me, because when they send a baby home, they send the baby home with the umbilical cord. Do you have to sign something for that, moms? And then you know what I absolutely think is just crazy, because I never thought about it, even though I've had so many funerals I've attended and have been through the cremation process. When the lady was talking to me, she was like, don't freak out when you get his ashes. There's going to be a tag in the ashes. And I was like, a tag? And she was like, yeah, like everybody gets tagged. And when she said that, my heart just broke. Because it's just like, oh, my heart broke so bad. I was just like, what do you mean you're going to tag my baby? You know what I mean? Like, but then again, like, duh, like, so they can keep track of which body is which body, you know? Like, it's just crazy. I know it stays on, but I'm just glad that we got it. Never had to sign for that. I know the umbilical cord stays on, y'all. Yeah, but it was just crazy when they said that. I was just like, oh my gosh. Hi, Miranda. No, Latasha, they didn't. So Josh got to cut the cord and I did too. I need to blow my nose, y'all. I'm just over here snorting away like Frank. Yeah, he is snoring, Joanna. Me and Josh are right now just focused on being there for each other. Frank has been up my booty. They were supposed to give me medicine to help dry up my milk. But I asked them that I wanted to do it naturally. And then when they called me about it, they were like, well, it wouldn't have worked anyways because you have to take it within 48 hours. And you were leaving here on Saturday night and you wouldn't have been able to get to a pharmacy until Monday. So it would have been too late for the medicine anyways. So I don't know why they recommended it to you. And I was like, they don't have it like at the hospital. They're like, no, they would have to order it. And I was like, oh, so they told me to, obviously, my mom started from the get-go putting cabbage leaves on my tatas, but they were so engorged. They're a lot better now. Yeah, Ashley, he has. And I had to relieve and pump to it because I couldn't even express. They were so hard, and obviously I don't want an infection. So my friend texted me and was like, is it weird to ask for your breast milk? And I was like, huh? She's like, is it weird if you could you donate me your breast milk? And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you really want it, I know I can donate the milk. I have been wearing cabbage leaves, you guys. So, I've been pumping for her. My old neighbors were. Oh, I will be getting breast milk jewelry, yes. Thank you for the stars, whoever sent them. So my little nephew has been drinking his little cousin's milk. Oh my gosh, I have so much milk. So much milk. And so yeah, I pumped this morning when I woke up, and then I pumped just now when I got home. I'm already leaking. Am I bad? And I know I've been using it for my sunburn too. And every time I pump, I say a prayer for Oliver. And I hold his little teddy bear. No, Mama's still here. But yeah, each titty, every time I pump, I get about 120 milliliters. It's a lot of milky milk. And it's very fatty. My mom says I have really good milk. She was like, he would have been a very well-fed boy. And I was like, yeah, he would have. Yeah, that's the name we both agreed on. Yeah, Jessica, I just didn't even think about it. Hi, Kelly. I know I can donate my milk. But it started out very, very yellowish. It's still yellowish, just not as much as it was. And it's been a lot easier than the first night, and my boobs don't hurt as much. What was his middle name? I'm gonna wait for that. I wasn't even supposed to tell you guys his name yet. I wanted to just like wait a little bit. But I slipped up. It's a name me and Josh both agreed on. We were just throwing names out there, and he called me like the week before we were in Illinois and was like, I really like Oliver for him. And I was like, that's what you want, baby. He's like, well, is it a name that you want? And I was like, I love the name Oliver Theodore. I was like, yeah. The more you will keep making, well, I don't mind because it's going to a baby, so. This straightener is from Foxy. I do wonder when like the random hiccuping and stuff is gonna stop. Is it weird that every morning and every night I still wake up and try to like feel for him. Probably not weird. I don't know why I said it. Is it weird? But I try to feel for him to see where he is in my belly. But my belly's definitely went down. You can freeze your milk. Yeah, for up to 6 months, I think the doctor said. You guys, I remember when I first thought that like all of this stuff in your hairbrush was like dust. And then I found out it's like literally your dead skin. Gross, huh? Yeah, we're working on his nursery. I'm hoping to have the nursery almost completely finished by the time that he gets home, so that we can put him up on the shelf. And then I do want to make something with his name. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, babe. But has it been our main focus? No, our main focus has just been taking it day by day. I have been getting very distracted. It was absolutely so sweet. I will, Melissa. I know, Ariana, it's so gross to think about. I know it is a blessing to donate breast milk. The first night, I was putting it in a jar for a keepsake for myself. And then when I posted on my Snap, she was like, I didn't want to ask if you were gonna pump or not, but I see that you are. So she's trying to continue breastfeeding, but she just doesn't produce enough. And the nurse said that 2 to 4 ounces usually feeds a newborn just fine. So if I'm able to give her, 2-3 months of milk, if I'm pumping that much, and that much is coming out, she can freeze it and have it, and then I can stop pumping and work on the dry out process, which the dry out process we've already been working on, but we couldn't keep a lock of his hair, girl. His hair was so teeny tiny short. But it was dark. He was gonna have dark hair. For sure. Josh has dark hair. He has a little bit of red in his beard. His family has a little bit of red. I don't know where the red came from, honestly, because his parents don't have it in their hair. But they say Stevie has red in her hair. I don't think so. I don't see it. But I think she has brown hair. But then again, what the hell do I know? But let me tell you, I just feel like with my features, red hair would not look good on me at all. I don't think red hair looks good on me. Yeah, my mom's still here. That's not necessarily true. I'm not pumping to feed, so I won't be. I already talked to a milk person, so I don't need you guys telling me what I should and shouldn't do with my titties. You see it, Desiree? I don't. But I just feel like, I don't know, red hair scares me as far as like how it looks on people, because You have to literally have the face for red hair. Like, you have to. Like, a bitch can't just go and dye her hair red. Like, I am not one of those. Like, do I think Oliver would look good with red hair with his features? No. No. I think red hair is just, you have to be able to pull it off. Like, you have to be able to pull it off. I have a ginger, it fits him. My best friend was a ginger and she absolutely hated her hair. She's like, I don't pull this shit off. I don't know why I'm a ginger. Her sister was also a ginger, but she was a brown red ginger. You think I'd be pretty with dark red? Oh my gosh, no. Like, people are asking me if Jess pulls off red hair. I'm like, I don't think she does, but she doesn't look horrible with it. Do I think she pulls off dark black hair a lot better, or the blonde hair she had. But who knows, maybe his hair would have lightened up, you know, or maybe he would have had some red in it, like Josh. Josh is getting grayer too. He says it's because of the stress I cause him. I don't think so. Sorry, you stress yourself out. But whatever. You know how I feel about red hair. Yeah, Kayla's like, fuck red hair. Yeah, I had red money pieces. I can pull that off, but I don't think red hair looks good on me. I tried rose gold and red hair. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I think blonde hair looks better on Jess. Yeah. I tried dyeing my hair red once. What a disaster. Yeah, you have to be able, like, red hair is just such a, it's such a, like, a color. Like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like, I'm here, look at me color. It is hard to get out. My niece was born with a full head of dark hair, and then her hair is like super light brown. But I mean, his hair was like black, like mine. Yeah, I don't think it would look good either. Yeah, oh, I didn't even brush this part. Yesterday was pretty rough. Today has been pretty rough. Like I said, I think today is rough because the weekend's coming. I did make my appointment for the 2-week checkup to make sure that everything is healing well. I mean, I didn't even tell my OBGYN that I was in Illinois. He thought the procedure was going to be done here. And then when I talked to them yesterday, they were like, oh. And then I have been talking to a grief counselor, which has been super helpful. I haven't video chatted with her yet. I've been on the phone with her. But we're just taking it one day at a time. It still doesn't feel like a sense of reality. I just feel the thing that it's so hard to explain, but then again, it's not. It's just, I don't feel sadness. I don't feel heartbroken. I do feel those things, but I mainly feel just empty. If that makes sense. Like, I don't wake up and feel heartbroken. Like, I am heartbroken, I am sad. But more so, I just feel empty. Like, I feel like I don't have a point to my day. Does that make sense? Like, I have had to break the habit of taking my prenatals and my vitamins and breaking the habit of vlogging what I eat so I know I got enough nutrients. I just feel empty. He's right here with his duck. Let me turn it this way so you can see him better. So it's definitely, there's definitely moments where I just like I'll be totally okay, like sitting, and then all of a sudden I'm just crying. You know? Like last night, I woke up in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. or something like that. And I was cold. My body's been very, very hot since everything. And I woke up really, really cold. And I think Josh felt me shivering or maybe moving. And he like got up and he was like tucking me in. And he was like, "Are you all right, babe?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went to sleep and I just like cried. Not for no reason, but like for just like, literally I could have just like went back to sleep. But instead, I just cried for a little bit. And then I went back to sleep. Oh goodness, Teresa, not the dick. And it's just weird how I've never felt this random wave of sadness and emptiness. I've dealt with grief, and I've dealt with losing, you know, family members, friends, and then like, you know, you grieve all kinds of things. You don't just grieve, like losing somebody physically, like, you know, them passing. You also grieve like relationships, losing a job, you know, losing a friendship, all kinds of stuff. And I feel like I have felt every kind of grief now. I have, because I also grieved, you know, losing my independence and having my accident, and then having to regain control of my life, somewhat control, because I definitely don't feel like I have control of my life. I feel like nobody really has control of their life. At any point in time, anything can happen. But I can honestly say that I have felt every single kind of grief now. Yeah, I have been letting it out when I need to, especially when I go on my back patio and I just tell my mom I'm going outside for a phone call, or in the shower. Shower crying is the best therapy, in my opinion, because you can just cry and then come out and it's just like, oh, I didn't cry in there. My eyes are just puffy from taking a shower, you know? And I have no idea why I'm straightening my hair, but here we are. Oh, I missed that whole section back there. Yeah, I know my hormones don't help either. I just washed my hair yesterday. Why is it looking oily? But I am producing a lot of oil though. Like my skin is super, super oily and soft. So maybe that's why. But I just washed my hair yesterday, or was it the day before that? It's been really motivating Josh coming over and throwing my ass in the shower so I shower, because bitch, if he wasn't coming over to throw my ass in the shower, my depressed ass, I don't really know if depressed is the right word, because I don't feel depressed, but I'm sad. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't mean to just throw depressed around like that, because I know a lot of people struggle with depression. But my sad self would definitely not be getting in the shower every single day. I give up on the comments. It's driving me wacko. What's driving you wacko? Like people's comments? I literally have no idea why I'm straightening my hair. But I also didn't know what ouch! That's so hot. I also didn't know what else to do with you guys to come on here. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, I do have bleeding, but it's just like menstrual cycle bleeding. It's not anything like excessive. They said if it got to where I was bleeding more than 2 pads an hour, then thank you for the stars, babe. It did get me good. Then to, you know, that's a concern. And I also didn't know that after giving birth and the delivery process, you still have a chance of pre-eclampsia. I had no idea. So they told me to watch out for certain pains because I can't really feel cramps. But I had no idea. You just learn so much about your body as a woman when you are pregnant. You know? Post-eclampsia, oh. Well, I don't know what it was called, but they said that to watch signs for it. And they said that depending on your body, it can be 3 to 6 months for how long you have to watch out for it. What do I need compression socks for? Post-eclampsia is awful. Yeah, I had no idea, like, that you, like, I thought that was just, that can only happen when you're pregnant. Thank you, Christine, for your stars.
Hey, did you mind in my wallet, nothing? My bussin'?
Yeah, if you want.
If I want?
Yeah.
Okay. Czekaj, co ja chciałam?
Did they figure out the car?
Ty, z tyłu zrobili bump. Dopiero zauważyłam, jak pojechałam zobaczyć samochód.
Oh, they hit your car?
They bump a little bit on the back.
Oh, but what did they say?
And they took the car.
Oh yeah, this necklace. Sorry guys. Josh's mom gave it to me. She didn't want to give it to me on Mother's Day when everyone's there. And she also said she couldn't wait. Um, oops. It's a little gift from her. Thank you, Shannon, for your stars, babe. It's a little elephant with a little baby elephant.
What, Frankie?
She gave it to me when we got back. She said she saw it at the store a few weeks ago and had to grab it.
Okay, so then
They're also coming by today. What?
Okay, I'm gonna get ready, okay?
Okay.
Grocery and bossy?
Yeah, I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
Thank you, Amanda, for your stars, babe. But yeah, I cried in her freaking driveway when she gave it to me. I had to put my sunglasses on. I know that his dad has been taking it a lot tougher than his mom, but I'm not saying that they both aren't taking it tough. But I did share pictures with her of Oliver. Oh, you guys, I really burnt my finger. It hurts so bad. And then I've been getting beautiful flowers, and then Jess sent wine and chocolates, and then somebody else sent wine, and Mama Helena's been at it. She's on the drinking.
It's gonna be too small for you? Or this one? Good. Huh?
Mom, this is like a kid's t-shirt.
Oh, this is also this is medium. No, large.
This is large, but once you wash it, look how teeny tiny that is, y'all.
Too small? So why I bought this? Sure, maybe it's too small.
It is very small, Mama.
Oh. I thought I
I've been
got
straightening my
large.
hair and the straightener's off.
Medium. This is large.
Hi. You wanna come say hi to your aunts and uncles? Come say hi. Come say hi. Come here. Get up. Gotta sit. Gotta sit. Frank got almost attacked this morning. It was so scary, you guys. I have no idea where I would be at mentally if anything were else to happen in my life. Holy shit. Thinking about it makes me just want to fucking cry. Oh. But we went outside, and the neighbor has these really two big dogs. And when Josh dropped me off, I saw them, so I waited a little bit. Mama, okay. He's like, why are you crying, Moms? To the baby. Yeah. Okay, anyways. And so we were coming out, and they were coming in, and her dog started pulling at us, so I backed up, and I was gonna let her go, but then she backed up and went back outside. So then I was like, okay, I guess we'll go. So we went, and I didn't really know which way she went, so I went towards the way me and Frank always go, and she was like in the corner, and I was like, good morning. She was like, good morning. And I don't know what kind of dogs they are, but the male dog, it's a male and female brother and sister, and the male dog broke off of his collar and just charged at Frank and cowered on top of Frank and started snapping at him. And I was like, so I pulled Frank back, and I was like, calm boy, calm, like talking to Frank. And he's like, calm bitch, I am calm. And I was like, whoa, 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 trying to, because whenever you freak out and start grabbing at dogs, I feel like that always escalates the situation. And she was still in the corner trying to hold back her other dog. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was just like kind of froze, you know, to see where the situation was going to go. Because Frank's just like frozen because I told him to sit down and calm the fuck down. And so then I like pulled Frank towards me. And as soon as I pulled Frank, the dog reacted. So I was like, okay, obviously I can't move Frank or move because that's going to make this dog react again even more. And so she was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, it's okay. Like, things happen. It's not your fault. Like, as long as, you know, this doesn't escalate. I didn't say that part, but like, that's what I was thinking in my head. Hi, baby. And, hi. Hello. Okay. I love you. And, you know, she came over, and when she came over, the other dog was trying to get at Frank, and I was just like, this is a little too much. So I didn't know what to do, so I started backing away. But when I started backing away, her dog started pulling more. So then once she grabbed control of her dog and pulled him, the other dog was trying to pull her, and finally she was able to put the collar back on. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay, like, things happen. I was like, at least they have met. So, you know, moving forward, if this were to happen again, you know, maybe it won't ever escalate, huh, Papas? But it was scary. And then say, I got yelled at, and then I got yelled at for smelling Archie's balls, and Archie doesn't like when I'm all up in his balls, and I do it anyways. And then Archie growled at me, and Mom got scared because she was still rattled. He knows you're talking about him, right? He has been a good light in the situation. Huh, Papas? I would have freaked out, yeah. But you also don't want to, because that always escalates the situation. Oh, also, I don't know if Kristen's in supporters or not. I was going to make a post on my page, but Archie's balls, yeah, Archie was not about it. And he doesn't know personal space. If there's a big dog and Frank can go under him, Frank will go under him and be like, balls in my face. He likes getting teabagged, don't you? Don't you? Frank, I'm talking to you. Your ear is pointed backwards, so I know you're listening. You're looking at me in the mirror? Okay, not anymore.
Zobacz, jakie te szlic mają kolor, farbują.
Well, yeah.
Surprise.
And, what was I talking about? Dang, I forget what I was talking about. What was I talking about, Frank? I don't remember what I was talking about. I need to put medicine. Oh, okay, now I remember. So we went out to eat. We went to go get lunch after I went and paid rent at the other place. and stuff like that because I can't pay it online since my fraud in January. Like they make me physically go in and pay it. Ow, Frank. And we went out to lunch and we went to like this little marina place, and we had some like tuna nacho style thing. It was poke tuna with like sesame bread or sesame crackers, and Mama Helena had a salad, and I had some kamikaze chicken sandwich with fries. And like I didn't really want to be outside, so like as soon as she came up, I was like, she got her drink order, which I've been craving Coca-Cola a lot, and I was like, I gave her our drink order. I was like, we're also ready to order because I didn't really want to be outside, honestly. No, Michelle, it's not. And so I was like, we're actually ready to order if you don't mind. Like, she's like, oh yeah, for sure. And I was like, okay. And then like once we got done eating and she checked on us, I was like, we're gonna go ahead and pay, because like I really didn't want to be outside. Like I wanted to be outside, but I really didn't want to be outside, if that makes sense. And so I told her that we're ready to pay, so I pulled my card out and I was waiting for her to come back. And she took a little while, and she came back and she was like, she's like, actually, I'll be covering your meal today. And I was like, kind of taken back by it. I was like, huh? And she's like, I didn't want to say anything earlier, given the circumstances, but she's like, I follow you on Facebook. She was like, I hope everything's going well. And blah, 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 you know, like sending me her best wishes. She was like, so I would just like to take care of your guys' lunch. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that's very sweet of you. She was like, yeah. And I was like, are you a silent watcher or do you comment? What's your name? And she's like, Kristen. She's like, I'm a silent watcher. I don't comment. And I was like, well, thank you for saying hi. And for paying for our lunch. And then we left. And my mom was like, she was like, that's so crazy to think about, because you didn't even want to come here and you just wanted to go back home, but then you changed your mind last minute and was like, it's probably a good idea to go outside and not be cooped up in the damn house all day, which then she convinced me to also get my nails done. And it's just crazy how things work out, you know? Because that was the last place me and my brother went to together, and we actually sat at the same table that me and my brother sat at, and that was when me and my brother were talking about, he was like, are you gonna like plant your roots down here? Like, do you think you're staying here, sis? And I was like, yeah, I do think I'm gonna be staying here. And Jasmine responded in a group chat, ma'am. And you know, that's when I was like talking about a family and all of that. And then I haven't been there since. Me and my brother were there. And it's crazy, like I said, we sat at the same table. And it was just weird how it worked out, huh? So, like I said, that day was a little rough, but the day before that was a good day. And you know, my grief counselor said I'll have that I'll have good and bad days. And she said you should, because I feel guilty when I have good days. And she was like, you cannot feel guilty when you have a good day. And I was like, but why? I shouldn't have a good day with everything that I'm going through. She's like, no, you do not get to feel guilty when you have a good day. And that's just what I've been thinking about. Because she knows I explained to her what I do for work. And she was like, what are you afraid of? Coming on there and showing them your emotions? And I was like, no, I just don't want people to think that I just like went back on here, even though this is a huge part of my life as well. and that I'm just like disregarding everything that has happened to me the last month and a half. And she's like, for people to even believe that, knowing that loss happens in the real world and somebody goes back to work like not even a week after a loss, it doesn't even matter which loss it is. She was like, that would be crazy talk. She's like, obviously this is your income, and obviously, you know, this is your job. It's absolutely normal for you to go back to work and get in routine and go back to what you were doing before the loss. Like, you have to realize that. And I was like, yeah, I know, but she's like, you're going to have to, you know, get back to your normal. You can't just sit here and tiptoe around reality and just be stuck in this situation, because it's not going to get you anywhere. And I was like, okay, you little smart bitch. I'm just kidding. But the world still turns. It does. Yeah, I do feel relieved talking about it. I love talking about him. And I will continue to do so, you know? Right, Joanna, right. But yeah, she was like, the best way to make yourself feel normal, even though I'm not normal, she said, is to just go back to as much normalcy as possible. She's like, don't do it all at once, but just start out slow and small. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so, all right, you guys, I'm gonna jump off here. Take one day at a time, right? But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here, and I don't know when I'll be back on, but I just wanted to check in. Tell him bye, Frank. Tell him bye. Say love you all. You winking at him? Wink, wink. Oh, that was 2. But, alright, you guys, I hope everybody has a good day. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Bye. Oh, gosh.